Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And Blizzard just did another massive kind of overhaul to the Mage class. And in today's video, I'm going to be focusing in on the Arcane Mage and what new builds are emerging as a result of these changes, and what it means for you, and how fun is it, and how can you maximize the potential of these changes that have been applied to the Arcane Mage. Now, I've seen a lot of people being pretty critical of this because this change basically means that you almost entirely take arcane missiles off of your bar. With this build in particular, they focused heavily on Arcane Orb, and this was a build that was kind of popping up at the start. I think it was starting to fall behind, but it's going to likely be really good in Mythic Plus, and I think it's also going to be really good in PvP at the moment from when I was able to test it a little bit earlier. So this build focuses around basically Arcane Barrage and Arcane Orb, just simultaneously summoning infinity amounts of orbs. You're basically like Krillin in Dragon Ball Z, and you're just shooting out like 10 Destructo discs all at once, and you're just chopping Frieza in half at that point. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Focuses really heavily around that. You have to kind of change the way that your brain works also, because like I'm so used to spending my clear casting on missiles that like I've got like muscle memory, and it's like you gotta hold back that muscle memory and think about what your next global is going to really be in those types of situations. Also, I think Spell Slinger is starting to really rise up again in terms of power. The Arcane Splinters are doing a lot of damage. It's just a huge amount of proc damage basically all around Arcane Barrage. That's the central idea and the central theme of it. We're also running Presence of Mind over the Slipstream because we're basically just not going to press missiles. And these Arcane Blasts are going to be really important in our cooldown window. So a quick rundown of what the optimal type of situation would be is that you would start with Arcane Surge, which is your cooldown. You would cast this. If you can't cast it for whatever reason, don't waste your time. Then we're gonna Touch of the Magi. We're gonna Barrage. We're gonna Barrage again because we got a proc, and then we're gonna Arcane Orb with the missiles. Look at that. We just shoot out a ton of Arcane Orbs like that. Just you see how fun that is, right? You just do giga damage in that little window of time. And I didn't even do that entirely correctly because I didn't use my Presence of Mind. You want to be using your Presence of Mind right at the start of the Touch of the Magi, and you're going to get that cut down burst damage. And then in between, you're just going to use filler. In PvE, you know, it's going to be your AoE, Arcane Explosion, or it's going to be Arcane Blast. In PvP, though, I've found that spamming Spell Steal ends up being more optimal in between your Touch of the Magi windows, especially against classes like Resto Shaman that have Earth Shield that you can take off of them, or Blessing of Freedom, or Power Word Shields, which are really important right now. Spamming Spell Steal is very effective in between that window. So we have that window again here. So we use our Touch of the Magi. This time we'll use Presence of Mind. Touch of the Magi, Presence of Mind, Double Blast. That gives us a fat stack Barrage. Then we could shoot infinite Arcane Orbs into another Barrage, into infinite Arcane Orbs into another Barrage, and we just cut them down, right? And then you could go back to either just kiting around and spamming Barrage if it's like a PvP situation, plus Spell Steal. This keeps up your snare on the target and lets you move and lets you fish for procs, most importantly, because you can get procs like this and then just giga shoot a bunch of Arcane Orbs out, and you're just running around just blasting instant spells, waiting for that window, keeping Spell Steal up, and getting huge amounts of procs. And then in PvE situation, obviously you'd be using Arcane Blast and whatever other filler you'd really want to be using. But it's a good idea to kind of like save up these orbs, these orb procs, I should say, the clear casting procs, because it's a lot of damage in the window. Like right here, we go really ham. We use our blasts at full stacks, and then it's time to go. Arcane Orbs, Barrage, Arcane Orbs, Barrage, Barrage again, Arcane Orbs, Barrage. I could do it again, dude. I have another one. Arcane Orbs, Barrage. And that little burst window, it's really one-shotty. It's really one-shotty. It's going to do really fat burst damage. It's going to be really good in like early game, I think. For Arcane Mage, it's, for me personally, at least in PvP, it's not the 100% preferred playstyle. I still actually like the missiles variant of Arcane over that of the Spell Slinger, but this is the new build that I just wanted to make a quick little video highlighting exactly like what's the core idea, what's the core rotation of it, because Arcane can be very complicated and can require a lot of nuance. So I just really wanted to get a video here that's simplified. Touch of the Magi, Presence of Mind, Double Blast, Barrage because we're at full, and then Arcane Orb time, into more Barrages, into more Arcane Orbs, into more Barrages, and we're just top of the meter, bro. We're top of the meter. We're flying. That combo alone is going to absolutely KO anybody that comes your way. We still have a lot of cheeky spells as well. We have Mass Invisibility, which can put ourselves as well as allies into stealth. So this is really good. I don't know why it didn't put me in a stealth here, right here. Maybe it was bugged there. Maybe I should report that as the bug. But all these invisibility things to try and avoid our enemies, going into stealth, being disruptive, harassing, keeping snares up, and fishing for proc. So I personally think it feels a lot like, you know, Arcane. I'm kind of hoping, at least in PvP, that we see just a little bit more buffs towards Arcane Blast, just because Arcane Blast, I just feel like it's super satisfying anytime you get like full stacks and you just sit here and rip Arcane Blast. Like, I really feel like that should be like a viable strategy for Arcane, at least in PvP. Personal preference. In PvE, obviously, you would never want to do that because it's single target. But this orb spam is going to be a lot of fun with the splinters and shooting out all those animations. So that's kind of where it's at right now. It's a little tragic because you're not going to use missiles at all. We'll have to wait and see if they do like another rework in the future for it, because I could definitely see that being the case, just because PvEers are being so vocal at the moment about the build. But if you have access to the beta right now and you want to have fun with this or input your feedback in regards to this, then now is the time to do it. Or just let me know in the comments down below as well. Like, does this look exciting to you? Is this the type of playstyle you want, type of visuals you want, or do you think that they're shifting too far away from the core of what you expect Arcane to be? Let me know in the comments. Just a quick little video updating you on this build. I'll leave the talent window open here. I'll try and remember to put the talent code also in the description, so if you want to copy this over, and you can just blast out huge amounts of damage with these Arcane orbs. Thank you guys very much for supporting the channel as always, and I will see you in the next one.